I'm joined right now by Mike Kingston. You may remember him from last year when we first interviewed him about the wrestling comic book Headlocked. And I'm also here with Hall of Fame wrestler, commentator, superstar, and personality, Jerry the King Lawler. How you doing, Jerry the King Lawler?
Great to be here.
And how you doing, Mike?
Very good. Thanks for having me.
Now I'm here because we want to get a little progress report on Headlocked. We brought it to you last year, and we let you know what it was about. And Mike, what's going on with Headlocked right now?
We have a new mini-series out. It's called The Tryout. It's a 3-issue mini-series. The first issue was painted cover, none other than Jerry the King Lawler, and it features the progression of the main character since we last saw him. He's going for a tryout at a wrestling school and kind of the fallout of that, and it leads into where we go next.
Cool. And now you've mentioned that Jerry the King Lawler painted this cover.
Yes.
And some of you people maybe not be familiar with this, but Jerry the King Lawler right here is actually a tremendous artist, besides being an awesome wrestler.
Well, I don't know how tremendous I am, but this is, believe it or not, the artwork is something that, and doing stuff for comics is something that I wanted to do before I got into wrestling. As a matter of fact, all through high school and all through school all my life, I was drawing pictures of like Superman when I should have been doing my homework and things like that. But fortunately, because I did that, I was able to, when I graduated, I won a full tuition commercial arts scholarship to the University of Memphis, and kept me out of Vietnam. So I was happy that I had been drawing all my life. Then I had always envisioned having some sort of career in art, hopefully doing comic book covers and that sort of thing. But one day I sent some drawings of mine that I did of wrestlers to a local TV station in Memphis. Lo and behold, they showed my pictures on the show, had me come over to the live wrestling show, and I met some wrestlers. Jackie Fargo was the main big star in Memphis at the time, and he became a friend of mine, and later on trained me to wrestle. I told him, I said, Jackie, I'm watching wrestling, I love it, I'm a big fan. I started taking wrestling at the University of Memphis. I got involved with wrestling there. I said, I would just like to have one match. I just want to have one wrestling match, and then I'm going to go back to my career in art. I'm going to go and continue being an artist. So we worked it out. I got to have that one match, and that was 37 years ago, and now 37 years later, I'm still wrestling, but I've come full circle. Now I'm getting to do some drawing and back to the artwork a little bit.
And Mike, you wrote this.
Yes.
Now you are a wrestling fan yourself.
Yes.
And you know a lot about the inside workings of the business, the behind the scenes, or
As much as anybody who's not there,
Not as much as this guy.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Now, you said you read Headlocked. Now, is a lot of stuff accurate? Like, is portrayal of wrestling accurate in Headlocked?
Yeah, what's cool about this comic book is the fact that probably one of the questions I get asked the most when you're around fans is, how do I get into wrestling? I'm a wrestling fan. I want to become a wrestler. How do I go about it? And basically, that's what Headlocked chronicles. It's a young man who just decided one day that he wanted to be a wrestler, and the way that he goes about it in this book is the way that I've known a lot of guys, myself included. In one sense, he befriends a guy or gets to meet a guy who is a professional wrestler, which you almost have to do if you're ever going to get your foot in the door anyway. And then it goes about him trying to get a tryout for. Of course, nobody starts out in the WWE. Nobody makes it to the big time right off the bat, and that's what this is about. It's about his struggle, trying to get his foot in the door, then trying to get a tryout, and trying to make it to the big time. And it's very accurate. It's good reading, especially for somebody that's interested in give you some insight into how to get in the business.
Sounds good. Now, you've did this cover. Would you be interested in maybe someday in the future actually doing the inside artwork, maybe a whole storyline or even one issue?
Well, if it's a short story or something like that, it's just still my WWE schedule and the wrestling demands that I have are so time consuming that I mean, Mike will tell you, he literally had to finally chase me down at a live wrestling event, and that was about 2 hours before I was fixed to go on in the ring, and I was sitting painting this cover for him. And then I still didn't finish, and he had to come back to my hotel before I flew out the next morning, and he's standing over my shoulder like this while I did the finishing touches on the cover. So I love to. That's the covers are something that I can start on and finish fairly quickly, as opposed to the inside that I think would be more time consuming. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Jerry Lawler, and thank you, Mike Kingston. And if you like wrestling, if you like comic books, Headlocked. Pitch a website.
www.visionarycomics.com.
Let me mention mine. KingLawler.com. Go there.
There you go.